So, 3 weeks ago, I did something really stupid. I let ChatGPT build a complete marketing strategy for one of my clients at Maximum Marketing. Not just ideas, the entire strategy. Campaign structure, messaging, target audience, client calendar, everything. And you know what happened? It failed. Cost me a week of work fixing everything, nearly lost a client and target me a lesson I will never forget. But here's the thing, I am actually glad it happened because now I can save you from making the same mistake. Today I am breaking down the 5 critical things ChatGPT absolutely cannot do when it comes to marketing strategy. And if you are using AI tool for your business right now, you need to hear this. I am Rishajit, I run Maximum Marketing and I have been testing AI tools for the past year trying to figure out what actually works. Let's get into it because before I tell you what's wrong, let me explain what I was trying to do. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you done something similar? See, everyone talking about how AI is going to replace marketers, right? Every day there's a new tool promising to 10x your productivity, automate your entire workflow, and I bought into the hype. I am running an agency studying for my BSS degree creating content. I need to save time somewhere. So when this content come to be needing to a complete marketing strategy for their sales product launch, I decide to test ChatGPT limits. I spent 2 hours creating what I thought was the perfect prompt. I give it their product details, target audience, demographics, budget, containers, competitor analysis, past campaign data. I feed it everything. And ChatGPT generated this beautiful, comprehensive 15-page strategy document. It looked so professional, the language was polished, the structure was perfect. I was impressed, but when I actually tried to implement it, that's when things fell apart. Here's the first massive problem I hit. ChatGPT has zero understanding of your specific market reality. So this client was targeting small businesses owners in Bangladesh, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. ChatGPT gives me strategies that look great on paper, but I was completely torn off their actual market. For example, it recommended Instagram and LinkedIn as the primary channels. Sounds responsible, right? Expect in their similar Bangladeshi cities, Facebook groups and WhatsApp are where business discussion actually happened. ChatGPT don't know that. It could know that it suggests pricing theirs and where to aggressive for local purchasing power. It used messaging that would work great in Silicon Valley but would completely miss Arc to mark the hair. And here's what really hit me. AI is trained on public internet data. It based quite Western market, English content and mainstream strategies. When I dug into it in the research, I found the ChatGPT's knowledge is heavily weighted toward content from US and Europe. And if you are in a niche market, whether that's a geographic, industry, and specific or demographic, ChatGPT is going to give you the generic advice, decide up in confident language. And that's dangerous because it sounds authoritative. My mechanic brain kicked in here. When I used to fix engine, I learned that the most dangerous problem is not on that's obviously broken. It's on that looks fine but has a hidden flaw. ChatGPT is like that. The output looks so polished that you trust it without questioning that lesson. ChatGPT does not understand critical nurses, local market condition and stable difference that make or break campaign in specific context. You still need a human insight for this. Okay, this one actually shocked me. And it might be the most dangerous limitation of all. In the strategy ChatGPT created several strategies to back up recommendation. Things like studies shows that 67% of sales buyers prefer monthly billing over annual. Recent research immediate email open rates in sales industry average 28.3%. According to industry benchmark, conversion rates for this demographic are typically 4.2%. Those numbers looked real, they sounded real, they were specific enough to be believable, so I almost used them in my client presentation, but something felt off. So I spent 3 hours trying to verify those statistics. And guess what? Most of them don't exist. ChatGPT had just made them up confidently with the demographic points and everything. That's what's called AI hallucination. And according to recent research, ChatGPT hallucinates between 3% and 48% of time depending on the complexity of the task. There's a huge range of unreliability. Here's what actually happened. I passionated some of those states in my initial client meeting. The client who's been in the industry for 10 years challenged one of them. I could not provide a source. I looked incompetent. That moment almost cost me the contract. The scary part, if your client does not catch it, you might polish false emotion that democracy or creativity or waste make strategic decision based on fabricated data. Air Canada learned this the hard way. Their AI chatbot gives a customer incorrect information about their refund policy. Their customer said and their current rules that Air Canada was legally responsible for what their AI said. It cost them money and reputation. The lesson? Never trust AI generated statistic without verification. Every single number needs a real source. This is not being Pandorate. It's being professional. That reminds me when I first studied in 2021. I was in Chirivandar at auntie's house watching YouTube videos about making money online. I failed at so many things, online service, early CPS attempts, Facebook promotion. But those failures taught me something critical. There's no shortcut to understanding your market. You have to put in the work, you have to test, you have to fail and learn. AI when used to believe we can speak that process. We can't, and the bring me limitation number though are these are hits different and you are building a brand. When ChatGPT write the campaign message for my client, it was fine, professional, polished, but it had zero personality. It sounded like every other sales completely on the internet. And here's the problem, your brand voice is one of the only thing computers can't copy. It's your unfair advantage, but ChatGPT does not get that. I asked it to write 3 different social posts on some campaign and even I thought especially maintain consistent brand voice. Each post had strictly different tone and one was formal, one was casual, one was somewhere in between. Research shows that businesses with consistent brand voice see 33% more revenue, but maintaining that consistency with AI, it's nearly impossible without extensive customization. Every event was multiple people who in the term are using ChatGPT. Without clear guideline, your brand voice will draft. One person prompts create content that sounds way, another person's prompts create something different. Give it 6 months and your brand sounds like 5 different companies. I have seen this happen on agency I know let their team use ChatGPT purely for content creation. Within the 3 months, their content started computing that their content did not sound like them anymore. They lost 2 accounts because of it. Here's what I do now. I use ChatGPT for first draft only. Then I rewrite everything in my actual voice. It takes more time, but the content actually sounds like me. Like this video, I used to AI to help organize my thoughts, but every word hearing right now, that's me. The lesson AI can help you write faster, but it can be you. Your voice is your brand's heartbeat. You don't outsource that. Here's where things get really interesting. And honestly, this is where I think AI reveals its biggest weakness. ChatGPT can analyze data. It can identify patterns. It can even predict what might work based on historical information, but it cannot understand human emotion. It cannot read between the lines. It cannot sense what a customer is not saying. In my client's strategy, ChatGPT recommended the standard sales funnel, awareness, consideration, decision, textbook step, but it's completely missed the psychological journey those steps specific customer were on. Those where business owner would not been burned in by sales product before. They were skeptical. They needed trust building before they are even consider pricing. ChatGPT strategy went strategic for the scale which would have killed conversion. The only caught this because I interviewed the 5 people in the target audience. They told me their real fears. All this actually work for my businesses. What if I pay and does not deliver? I don't have time to learn another complicated tool. ChatGPT never identified those emotional barriers because it can't. It does not understand that marketing is not just about features and benefits. It's about addressing fears, building trust, and making people feel understood. There's that concept in psychology called emotional resonance. When your message hits someone at the feeling level, not just a logical level, that's what drives decisions. And AI fundamentally cannot create that because it does not feel anything. The lesson? Use AI for structure and ideas, but inject human understanding into every strategy. Tell to real customer, feel their pain. That's someone no algorithm can replace. Alright, final limitation. And this is one of that made me completely rethink how I use AI. ChatGPT can give you options, it can present strategies, but it cannot make actual decisions. It does not understand opportunity cost of business trade-offs. In my client's case, ChatGPT recommended running campaign on 4 different channels simultaneously. Sounds comprehensive, right? But don't consider the client's limited budget, their small team size, the fact that spending to their means nothing works well, the strategy advantage dominating on channel first when I asked ChatGPT directly. Which single channel should we prioritize given those constraints? It gave me a wisely answer converting all possibilities. No clear decision, no conviction, because here's the truth. Strategic thinking requires judgment and it requires understanding context, weighing multiple factors and making a call even with incomplete information. AI cannot do that. I will always try to cover all bases, which in the strategy often means achieving nothing. I have been running maximum marketing for over a year now. And the most valuable skill I have developed is not technical knowledge, knowing when to say no, knowing what not to do, knowing where to focus limited resources for maximum impact. ChatGPT does not have that. I will happily generate a strategy that requires a team of $28 million budget for a solopreneur with 500 to spend. It does not filter for reality. The lesson? AI is a tool for exploring possibilities, but you need to be a strategist who makes the final call. Don't outsource your judgment to an algorithm. So here's what I learned from my expensive mistake. ChatGPT is immediately powerful for generating initial ideas and frameworks, creating fast draft that you then humanize researching and organizing information, sending up personalized text, but it absolutely cannot understand your specific market context, provide the reliable data without verification, maintain your unique brand voice, read emotional case, or customer psychology, make strategic decision with the real world components. The future is not AI or humans, and it's AI and humans. You use the tool to handle their heavy lifting, but you bring the judgment or empathy. Thus, it's thinking and the understanding of your specific reality. I am still using ChatGPT every day in my agency, but now I use it smartly. It's my assistant, not my strategist. It helps me work faster, but it does not do my thinking for me. If you are building an online business or running marketing campaigns, my advice is this: use AI aggressively for efficiency, but never let it replace the human elements that actually make marketing work. Understanding people, building trust, and making thought strategic calls. So, real talk. Have you ever had AI give you advice that sounded great but turned out to be completely wrong? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. If this video helped you avoid a mistake or rethink how you are using AI, hit the like button, subscribe if you want more honest content about what's actually working in digital marketing. Not the guru hype, just real strategies. This is from someone still in the TCS with you. And remember, AI is getting smarter every day, but so are we. Stay human, stay strategic, stay curious. I am Rishajit. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.